What if I told you that the power to design your own child is no longer a wild fantasy from a sci-fi movie? It's real. Today, with a technology called CRISPR, scientists can act like molecular surgeons, cutting and pasting the very code of life, our DNA. A tiny snip here, a small change there, and what was once left to the random shuffle of genetics can now be deliberately rewritten. The debate isn't about if we can edit our future children anymore. The real, pressing question is, should we? Think about it. Would you prefer to leave your child's fate to nature's lottery, with all its unpredictable risks and rewards? Or would you choose to rewrite the rules of the game? It's a compelling idea, especially when you consider disease. If you had the power to prevent your child from inheriting a debilitating illness, to spare them a lifetime of pain with one single, precise gene edit, wouldn't you take it? In that context, refusing to act might even seem cruel. Who wouldn't want to eliminate suffering? But this is where the path gets tricky. There's a fine line between curing and crafting. Once we've conquered genetic diseases, what comes next? Do we start optimizing? A little taller, a little stronger, a little smarter. What happens when we can select for traits that are considered desirable, like eye color or athletic ability? This is where the noble goal of health could spiral into something far more dangerous. Let's imagine two possible futures. In the first, gene editing has eradicated countless illnesses. We live in a world with less suffering, less fragility. It sounds like a utopia. But consider the second future, a world where editing has eliminated not just illness, but difference. Every child is born conforming to a trending ideal. Perfection becomes a commodity, an upgrade you can purchase. What happens to those who can't afford it? Or to those who are born unedited? We would create a new biological class system where the genetic haves and have-nots are separated at birth. We like to tell ourselves we'd be responsible, that we would only use this power for good. But let's be honest with ourselves and look at history. The pursuit of a better human has a dark past. From selective breeding programs to the horrors of eugenics, these movements often began with what seemed like good intentions, but always ended in creating brutal hierarchies and justifying discrimination. Why should we believe this time would be any different? Some people will say, but science is neutral. It just gives us tools. And they're right. Science itself doesn't have a moral compass. It tells us what is possible, not what is right. But the moment we apply that science to human life, we are making a moral choice. Ethics don't just disappear. They get embedded in the lab protocols and the regulations we write, or fail to write. Every decision to edit or not to edit is a statement about what we value. And there's another risk, a deeply personal one we rarely discuss. What happens to the nature of love when our children become our creations? When they are no longer gifts born from a beautiful, chaotic mix of chance, but are instead products of our design choices? A parent's pride could curdle into something else, something more like a manufacturer's guarantee. I made you smart, I made you healthy, I made you better. What happens when that design has a flaw, as all designs eventually do? Who will the child blame? Who will the parent blame? The unconditional love we cherish could be replaced by a conditional approval based on performance. Of course, the counterargument is that this is just the next logical step in human evolution. We've always used technology to shape our environment and ourselves. Why should our own biology be off limits? Perhaps we are meant to guide our own evolutionary future. But that view misunderstands what evolution is. Evolution isn't a march towards perfection. It's a messy, chaotic process of adaptation. It thrives on randomness, on mutations, on the happy accidents that create new strengths and possibilities. By eliminating all the flaws, are we also eliminating the very source of our resilience? Are we making ourselves more vulnerable in the long run by creating a beautiful but fragile monoculture? And yet, here's the stark reality. Can we truly stop this? History shows us that once a powerful technology exists, it will be used. The genie is already out of the bottle. Somewhere in the world, right now, an embryo is likely being edited, quietly, experimentally, and perhaps inevitably. The moral debate about if we should do it might already be behind us. The real, practical question we face now is, what kind of world will these edits build? Will we become wise and humble caretakers of the human genome, using this power with restraint and foresight? Or will we become its dictators, imposing our fleeting, fashionable ideals onto future generations? Will gene editing truly end human suffering, or will it just redefine it, creating new forms of anxiety, inequality, and pain? Every time we fix a gene, we are also redrawing the line between what we see as natural and artificial, between what we accept and what we reject. So maybe the ultimate question isn't whether humans should be allowed to edit their children. Maybe the real question is whether we, as a species, can still find it in our hearts to love what we didn't choose, to cherish the imperfect, the unexpected, the unedited, Because if we lose our ability to embrace imperfection, we might also lose our capacity for forgiveness, for grace, and for unconditional love. And isn't that what truly makes us human? The ability to love the beautiful, messy, unedited reality of life. Thanks for watching. This is a massive topic, and I'm really curious to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey into the future of humanity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more videos that make you think. See you in the next one.